Hey guys, it's Deni, as always. Have you ever wondered how many games have been released on PC? I have the impression that such a number has not been invented yet, and it is simply impossible to know about all games. Well, it is impossible to keep track of all the games that come out without following the game industry every day. That's why today, I have collected for you some simply beautiful, not super popular games that you probably missed. Click on the like, click on subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go. Do you miss adrenaline and dynamic gameplay? The perfect place to get it all? Good old Crossout. Tense battles, dozens of different vehicles, and hundreds of parts for their customization are waiting for you. You can make a powerful, bulletproof tank and destroy your enemies just by the look of it. Or make something smaller, but fast, and get in the back of unsuspecting enemies. In any case, Crossout is the best place to show everyone who is a real pro. Download the game at the link in the description. Let's start with the analog of Little Nightmares, only in a different wrapper. Here we take on the role of Ole, a kid who tries to save his sister kidnapped by a troll. The troll is smart, and in general it is difficult to live in this world. When you encounter different creatures, you need to think carefully about how to approach them or hide, because in these forests and caves there are many hungry and insidious creatures who, on the one hand, can help, but in a couple of minutes try to eat you. But the guy is not a bad guy. To overcome difficulties, he can summon an enchanted fragment, the Spark of Courage, which gives additional strength. You will have to fight with enemies too, and even with bosses sometimes, but naturally with your head more than poking someone with a stick, given our modest size. In general, a cool thing, and most importantly, very atmospheric. Oh, this is a legendary thing. Broforce is a paramilitary organization that saves the world from evil. You and I can unite in a team of 4 people to fight terrorists and protect peaceful people. Each brother here has unique weapons and attacks, and accordingly his style of play. And in terms of gameplay, there are several game modes including cooperative and competitive, with ranks and all this stuff. Levels are fully destructible, which opens up a lot of opportunities for tactics. Not only that, but you can even create your own levels with the editor and share them with other players. I propose to strain your eyes a bit with extremely unusual graphics and dynamic gameplay. The game is a roguelike with very tough melee combat. Each attack, whether it be weapons, fists, or magic, inflicts fatal wounds to the enemy at once. Levels are randomized, loot and quests are too. The game has different classes that allow you to use unique styles, mage, monk, berserk, and so on. There are as many as 15 of them, and they are unlocked as you progress through the game. The combat system is deep, plus there are 45 levels, which again are randomly generated, different types of weapons, and enemies are also very much. In general, the battles are waiting for you directly, say endless. And here is a real shooter, Took with bots, and Regadol. In the game, you can fight as an infantryman or on ground vehicles, airplanes, and watercraft. The number of fighters is limited only by the capabilities of your computer, so you can make just a giant-sized meat, so that the comp will smoke. The game is still in early access, but the content is still being released, which is good, and kind of planned to release and further too. And this is a new weapon, equipment, and so on. Well, and different modes too. In general, interesting. How about a race? On motorcycles, yeah. But it's not like a typical MotoGP or something. It's got a bit of a story and a bit of a retrowave feel to it. In terms of gameplay, it's a romantic arcade, where you can ride a motorcycle and skateboard, compete in dancing, shoot lasers, fight on swords, and break hearts at 200 mph. The plot here is that some girl's heart is broken, and it upsets the balance of the universe. In her dream, she is a butterfly and leads her on a star highway to the sky, where her other eye is waiting for her, a masked biker named Jester. That's exactly for him we will mostly play. Visually, and in terms of the music in the background, it's a canon. Now, this is a cool game in terms of content. In front of you is the good old Desperados, only the third part of it. It's a tough tactical stealth game set in the Wild West with a cool story. The main character, John Cooper, teams up with his allies to restore justice. We will have to travel through small towns, swamps, and rivers, do missions, and beat the face of villains. By the way, some of the villains are our allies. You don't need to punch them in the face. Each of the 5 unique characters has their own special skills. All this madness, tucked in just beautiful graphics, exquisite tricks at every turn, and excellent performance in terms of technical condition of this thing. It's just eye candy. How about playing a game about death? Sounds weird, of course, but in practice, you're in for a wonderful, very cozy thing. You will have to play as Stella, the carrier of the souls of the dead. The main task is to build a boat to explore the world, make friends with the souls of the dead, and take care of them until they find peace in the afterlife. But in general, you can also just rest. Farm, mine, fish, or harvest. Roughly speaking, just relax and enjoy. The game is basically designed for this. If you are tired of resting and want to shoot, then there is Slime Rancher. The second one, of course, because why play the first one if there is a second one? This is a sequel to the original game. We, together with Beatrix Libo, will go on a new journey to Rainbow Island, to the mysterious land of ancient technology and unknown natural resources, to meet a real avalanche of unfamiliar, shaky, bouncing slimes. Our madam will build, work on a ranch, and farm in a greenhouse. We will beat the slimes and capture them. By the way, they became more than in the first part, and they became much more diverse. Roughly speaking, an unusual farm in front of you, from one person and with not standard bouncy critters. What about fishing? No, I'm not offering you any Russian fishing simulator, but something more intriguing. This is Dredge, a game in which you as a fisherman will maximally pretend that in this world nothing happens. During the day you fish, in the evening you rest, sell your junk, and at night you sleep. Yes, exactly, sleep, because suddenly decide not to sleep, and God forbid, you go fishing in the middle of the night, you will meet a mountain of the most horrible, bloodthirsty fish monsters. Well, and all sorts of things with tentacles, fins, and teeth big that will want to devour you. In general, the game at night is much more interesting. If you are tired of all the fantastic and you would like to ride a little, ideally with the wind and on a bike, then this game is definitely for you. Descenders is an extreme bike ride that is easy to start playing but difficult to master. The game generates procedurally generated tracks with new jumps and descents every time you hit the start button. The controls in the game allow you to control every move the racer makes, which is cool. That said, there is freestyle, and the more combos you do, the more points you get. The main thing is not to fall and not to break ribs, for everything will be lost. There is a division in 2 teams. Online component is small, ratings and so on, but the basis of all cool descents with tricks. Blood Fresh Supply, in front of you. Hard retro meat in the style of Doom. That means you'll find a lot of weapons, a lot of arenas with enemies, and a lot of blood flying out of them. Visually, retro thing as you can see, but we are waiting for 42 levels that convey the atmosphere of some Lovecraftian museum. You start with villas, but as time passes, you get other weapons, aerosol cans, rocket launchers, and voodoo dolls. Overall, the set is weird, I agree, but it's fun to play. Let's add a little bit of pirate life to you, fueled by the magic of death. Well, in that vein, that you'll be dead pirates in this game at once. This is a stealth strategy game set in an alternate golden age of piracy. The curse of lost souls hangs over a chain of islands known as the Dark Caribbean, where evil inquisitors rule. The protagonist, Pirate Afia, sets out on a quest for black pearls to gather a crew of undead. We are clear, along with her. Each member of the team has unique supernatural abilities. Well, and And on the gameplay, we are waiting for robberies, battles with the army of the Inquisition, and penetration into enemy fortresses. And all this business is tucked into a simply beautiful graphics from which you catch only enjoyment. I hope you found something interesting for yourself today and therefore clicked and on the like and on the subscription too. Well, with you today was as always Deni, and have a nice day.